going on, guys? Thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate it. And before we get into this week, if one episode just isn't enough for you and you need a little bit more Bacon is My Podcast, head on over to patreon.com/Bacon is My Podcast. Over there, you will get access to monthly live streams, discounts on merch, early and commercial-free access to Bacon is My Podcast episodes. Some of them are even extended surprise giveaways, additional shows, including Tasting is My Passion, and, of course, Cooking with Bacon is My Passion. And oh yeah, you get a crap ton of music. That's right, all of Jimmy and Mike's bands, previous, current, whatever it is, you'll get access to that music, demos, and much, much more. Just head on over to patreon.com/Bacon is My Podcast and learn what the hoopla is all about.
It's coming in. We're gonna refill.
Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon! Bacon is my... Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon is my...
Welcome, everybody.
Hi.
Here we go.
Hi.
This is the episode we've all been waiting for.
I don't think even the three of us have been waiting for this.
Let me tell you something.
I'm excited.
We've wanted to book this for a while.
Why?
And I think you're probably harder to book than a lot of the celebrities we've had on.
Look, I don't wrestle.
Right.
But you could.
I don't front the chick band. And
But you could.
But you could.
I could now. COVID's been really awful to me, man. I mean, depending. I mean, if you're into this, then it's been great fun.
There you go.
I don't really know.
But
Silver linings, man.
we're really excited to finally have our good buddy, DJ Pearlman, Level 9. Woohoo! And the host of the Hard Rock Lunch.
I can't even believe that. Sounds like there should be 5 people sitting here with all that stuff. No wonder I'm so tired. Thank you for that introduction. Have a good night.
What's your bacon?
I am so excited to be
Living
in
up to
the studio.
expectations.
I have been watching this studio for months, and I am just so excited to be here. Like, I cannot believe
I can read it on your face.
this is where the
Excitement
magic
is
happens.
permeating.
This
Like,
is.
where bacon is discussed and things are tasted and
Yeah.
and the band isn't.
The proverbial magic happens
You
here.
want to taste something?
Yeah, no, I don't. No, thank you.
We've got lots of stuff in there.
Yeah,
We got a bag of stuff to taste.
yeah. No, you guys are you take like the hot. What the hell was it?
The gummy bear?
Gummy bear?
The gummy bears, the hot gummy bears.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Like I couldn't even wrap my head around why you were doing. Like I even asked you, I'm like, why did you do that? And you were like, to entertain people, you dick. And I was like, yeah, but like.
It was
more than-
only 9 million Scoville.
It's
Right,
also
but
more
like-
to entertain each other, I think.
Well,
Yeah,
that was closer to like my understanding.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I like that is not my wheelhouse. That is not my wheelhouse annex. That is not my wheelhouse annex garage. Like
Right,
I don't like super hot stuff. I am not a thrill seeker. Like I know that in psychology, like we studied this, like the there's a huge correlation to like people like really hot sauces and like roller coasters, and that makes so much sense
I love roller
because I hate those things. I hate both of those things. Like I literally, like I got my kid once like a level 4 wing at Wings Over, and like he was tearing up eating it. Like he was trying, like he didn't want to let me down, and I'm just like, dude, my bar is here. You know, like I just, that's fine. Like, but you asked for him, but he's like, I just can't eat it anymore. That's fine. And I was in there eating them the next day, and I'm just taking a paper towel and wiping them off, and then just eating the wings. And
What's the highest level?
Well, it's funny because Wings Over, I eat Wings Over a lot.
Not a sponsor.
It's not a sponsor, not yet. But they have a lot of good flavors, and it's one of the few things that my entire family eats.
Mhm.
And I have a family of 5. And you find
Right.
something that 5 people will eat, like it's just like, oh my god,
That's it.
So like sometimes we rehearse on Sundays, and whenever I rehearse on Sundays, my daughter's like, so you passing
home.
through Farmingdale by any chance? Where the wings? I didn't even think of that. Wings would be great.
Yes.
So
Those are always great.
but they did this thing where they had 5, like they have a lot of flavors, but of their main hot sauces, they had I think it was like wimpy, and then mild, and then like it keeps going up. But now they've they've gone back to numbers, like just levels, and I'm like, somebody complained about the wimpy. There is no way.
yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
In this day and age, if somebody's like, "Oh no, wimpy," then why are you eating level 1, my friend? Like even I can handle level 1. Like, but yeah. So there's that correlation between like and it's all like thrill seekers and stuff like that, and it's just so a perfect analogy for my personality. It's just like no thrill seeking. Like, is there a net? Can I stand in the net and like not even fall into it? Can I just be in the net and like, oh, toast, white toast, that's awesome. Let me have some of that. Like I like a little, like I'm not totally like stay indoors, wrap me in bubble wrap, but man, I do not like super hot stuff. So I think that was my thing. It was like, to me, that sounds awful. Like,
no, it was awful.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong.
But you
It was
also
bad.
enjoyed it. Like that could have easily ruined my weekend.
No, we didn't enjoy it.
But the act of doing it.
Oh no.
So you didn't enjoy any of it.
I enjoyed him doing it.
Oh yeah. See, that's just me.
And he
like
enjoyed-
that's, and I also don't have that.
He enjoyed me doing
Right.
it.
So I don't have that.
It wasn't that I enjoy. I have this weird thing about me.
How many
one?
pillows are?
Just one?
Just one.
Just one weird
Just
thing
one.
about me.
Oh, cool. We boiled it down here, folks.
Right.
All right, here it comes.
I don't know what this means.
Do you have any sound effects on this show?
We're working on it.
What
We're working on
kind
it.
of shit? Do you imagine what my show would be like without sound effects besides better?
What I wanted to do, I wanted to ask you for the music bed, so we can just play it
Underneath this,
just the whole
yeah,
episode.
I'll give you the bed. Yeah.
Okay.
So the one thing
Dude.
is that it's not that I enjoy the fact that he was in pain,
Right.
but the things people do when they're in pain,
Like faces.
the
and-
faces, or the fact that they're tasting something that they really don't enjoy,
Yeah.
something super sour. Just
Yeah, because
those-
sour's rough.
Sour's
Sour will
rough
collapse your
sometimes.
face.
those type of things, like when someone's in that discomfort,
Right.
I find that so funny.
Yeah.
That's really sadistic. I
I
mean, like,
don't know why.
No, but it is.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
It's so funny to me. I don't get any more of a joy out of being the one that caused it
right.
versus being
Just
in the room,
witnessing it.
Just seeing
witnessing
it. Yeah.
So there's not that they don't like, because I recognize that would be a different thing.
Right. And also, especially if you jackassed your way and be like, oh, you gummy bear, and didn't even tell him.
Right.
Right.
As funny as that would be on TV when it's people I don't know. Like, I could never do that to somebody.
Right. I couldn't do something like that to somebody either. But if there's consent, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see.
If it's about consent. Yeah, man. That was just hard. And I remember skipping, like, I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not watching. Like, I'm not doing that.
I
I
was
also
really good though, because he was like doing calisthenics
Oh, yeah, I
and
had
stuff.
to
He
do
was
jumping
jumping
jacks.
jacks.
Yeah. I
That's
also have a
great.
lot of empathy.
Right. I do too.
Yeah, and
I do too. I don't know why.
I don't know how you
shut
can say
off.
that you have empathy
I do though.
until somebody's in pain,
Right. I don't have empathy for
and then
those
apathy
things.
kicks in real fast.
For those things, I don't seem to have it for that. I just think it's hilarious.
Just the joke.
If I collapsed, he probably would.
Yeah.
Right.
Then I would.
Well, he would laugh first.
I would spring to action.
911.
He's like, wait.
Okay.
Okay.
My friend
Are
just-
you okay?
Oh wait, the camera's on. Then
Oh
he'd
my
stop.
god, are you
Oh.
dying?
we definitely need this for the Patreon.
Speaking of Patreon, we do have a Patreon, which
We
is
do.
what we're talking about, which is where we ate this thing. So
Yeah.
for those of you that are patrons that are on here, thank you for keeping the show going. For those of you that are not patrons, totally cool too. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you want to check out the Patreon and see what we offer, what we do, think about it and think about supporting the show, please check us out over on Patreon.
Yeah.
Bacon is my podcast.
Can I just point out it was a lot cheaper than I thought it was going to be?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I did not sign up yet. I'm going to try. I can't commit to another monthly thing right now. But I'm just pointing out to your viewers, if they haven't checked it out and they think it's like $20 a month or something.
Yeah.
No,
Those options are available, but there are some lower, more generic options that will give you the access. And I thought that was a really smart move because that will bring more people into the fold.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
I do want to thank you though for being guest here, because
I love
we didn't have to do any research.
No.
So thank you for being our guest and being our friend for so long.
Although I
welcome.
did some.
I can't even imagine what research would turn up.
So
Is this on the drive?
you
I cannot believe how professional you guys are.
So you wrote a song for an independent film called Trial by Self.
I did.
And you scored the entire film.
I did score. I often forget that, actually.
By a person named Brandon Allen Powell.
Yep. Very good.
And I listened to an interview that you did about that.
Really?
Where you had spoke about the fact that you went into writing the score and writing the song for the movie, and he didn't tell you what the movie was about. He gave you little tidbits of information.
Hella frustrating.
Here and there about the writing process. So as someone that kind of knows you as a person that is very calculated and likes to think your way through things and likes to work your way through things, how was that for you then?
It sucked.
And but then afterwards, with the little bits of information that he gave you, how close do you feel? Like, how well did the songs work for the film? How well did you get?
Yeah, it came out really good, and I was able to see the film. I mean, he was a teenager or maybe like 20. Like, he was really young, but he had like all these good ideas, and he had like his drive or ambition on this project was like infectious. Like, I got a phone and I was like, fuck yeah, man, we're gonna make a movie. Like, you know, like I had an IMDb credit, and like I
still have one.
I do still have one.
I found it.
Right, like I literally scored a movie that went to like movie festivals and stuff like that. And I will tell you, the process was really, like, the whole thing was messed up because I had so we have this song called "Fall Into You." It's on Sparticle. It's a G Davy song. It's on Sparticle. It's just acoustic, and it's just me and an acoustic guitar. And I had been approached by I don't even know what you would call it, but this maybe it was like an indie radio station. I mean, this is like 10, 12, 15 years ago at this point. So pre the internet radio boom, but they were putting together a CD, like an actual hard CD of independent acts from across the country, and they were looking for acoustic songs. And she had gotten my name from somebody. She had gotten the name G Davy because that was the band at the time. So this woman, Javelin something, she messaged me. She's like, "Oh, somebody gave me your name, said that you were like super talented. Do you have an acoustic song? You know, I'd love to hear it." So I emailed her a song, and it was "Fall Into You," which is like it might even be like just under 2 minutes. And she was like, "Oh, that's awesome. I'd love to hear the rest of it." And I was like, "Hey man, that's all of it." And she's like, "Holy shit, this is really good." Right. So she actually, and I didn't hear anything, but it ended up being on the CD. And they went to like trade shows and music shows, and they were giving this CD away. It was like the first major distribution deal I had without even knowing it. So this kid, Brandon, had been at one of these conventions and got the CD and listened to it. He's like, "I love that song." So he contacted me directly, and he was like, "Hey, I'm writing a movie. Is there, do you have any songs like I could use for the movie?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, all of them. Any song you want, any movie, like whatever you want to do." And then I did the dumbest thing I've ever done. At that point, I've done dumber things since. I said, and if you don't like anything, I'll just write you something for the movie. And immediately got back.
Yeah.
I'd love that.
Right.
Like, oh, you didn't even listen. Oh, yeah, I see it now.
Right.
So I was like, man, it's so close to getting this catalog out of here. But no. So he told me a little bit about the movie, and it was definitely a horror flick. He was super inspired by Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so it was like kind of like that. It was like horror flick, but he was like, "This is the name of the movie, and this is kind of like what the characters like kind of dealing with, like separation and anxiety and all of this stuff." I'm like, "Separation and anxiety? Oh boy, did you come to the right place!" Like, if you want building supplies, I'm your home goddamn depot. So I wrote what will become Trial by Self in like an hour. Just based on, like, I had a direction to go, I had something to say. And I was much more prolific in the G Davy days, mainly because I didn't put a lot more effort into songwriting. So there's a lot of crappy G Davy songs, and there's a few good ones that kind of just came out. Trial by Self to me was always a good one, but I wrote the acoustic version for it first, and I think it closes the movie. I know the electric version that was actually on She Sells Smiles is on the radio during the movie.
Okay.
But then I had done all that, and then like months later, he was like, "Have you ever written a score?" And I was like, "No, but I would love to try it." And it was just around the time I had bought like my first Alesis, like a real keyboard. Yeah. And I was like really working with MIDI. I probably had just gotten my first Pro Tools rig, and I was like really working with all this stuff. He's like, "Cool, that'd be awesome. Like, I'll send you some notes." Like, "Can I see the movie?" He's like, no. He's like, I'd rather you not see it. I'd rather you just write based on what, the emotions for the song. So he would give me like notes like, this is really intense. Something's happened. And sometimes he would reference other movies like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like this is the scene when they're escaping. So like, all right, panic, upbeat, blah, blah, blah. And I would just like try and meet, I was writing literally for moods, like 20 different moods. And it was like throwing spaghetti up into a wall, up on a wall until something stuck. And it was fucking fun. Like as a creative process, like I was doing this new instrument with this newish technology, and I didn't have any direction, and I didn't have to really write a song. I had to write a feeling,
capture a mood.
Yeah, and augment that mood. And some of the stuff I put together was like really good. I mean, I don't know that would be good like by today's standards, and certainly not by like what I know how to do now. But like, I remember when I was done, like I had a couple of those fuckers. It was like, that's really good. Like that's really good. And
did you have a handle at the time while you were writing, like to go, okay, I'm scoring the movie, so here's a certain melody that I came up with. I need to bring that melody back throughout and all that. So you had that.
I did that a couple of times where I would do, I don't know what that's called, but I've seen it in movies since, and I must have seen it before because I certainly wasn't coming up with it.
Definitely a theater thing, a movie thing, storytelling element.
It's like the reprise.
It's a reprise, yeah.
And I would do that like and do it like, because I mean, like I was a huge fan of like Pink Floyd's The Wall and the recurring elements of that. Like, okay, it's the same sound, but now it's like really loud and aggressive. And then sometimes we would have like running like with bass, like it would have like the other melody like behind it.
Right.
But I was playing with all these sounds, like, and this was like before you could just go download a sound. Like I had to do whatever I had on this Alesis, and my friend Eddie, who became my producer, was like, I can lend you some keyboard banks. I'm like, I can't even figure out this right now. Like I remember like getting one. I wanted it to sound like it was on like a spooky dock. So I like had to find something that sounded like a faraway bell, and I got it close, but I had to reverb the F out of it like to get it. So it was like, like that kind of thing. But like that probably took hours to figure that out.
Yeah, because you have to manipulate
where I could be like, Siri, get me a dock bell. Okay, here you go, Siri. Like,
right.
But yeah, like it was so frustrating because I didn't know what he wanted. And I still have somewhere like the pages he mailed me of like scenes. Okay. Like this is what's happening in this scene. But again, like I didn't see any of it put together until he sent me the DVD of the movie. And I watched it and I was like, not only is it good anyway, but it was his first movie. Everybody on it was like not professional. The main chick in the movie, I think, was acting for a little while, but like then like kind of gave up. But like that was like her first thing. Like it was a feature length film, and like he did it and edited it. But yeah, I honestly forgot I had scored that. But it's a cool thing to have done, and I would absolutely do it again. But I have friends that score stuff like for real, and it's such a different thing. Like when you're looking at what you're doing, like you're looking at the scene like, oh yeah, because you can get everything perfect, and you get cues. And I didn't have any of that. Right. And again, I had no experience. That might have helped me because I didn't have any experience. I didn't know the right way to do it.
Right.
But that was a lot of fun. If anybody ever gets an opportunity to score anything, it is such a learning thing for any artist and any musician and any songwriters to try and do that, especially as a songwriter, because you're not writing a song, you're conveying mood with music.
Is it something you would do again?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Almost any project, almost any time. I mean, I guess if it's really stupid, I wouldn't do it because I don't know that I'd be interested in doing it. But like, and I don't even know like how like if they were like, can you do it like 80s pop synth? Like, I'm not sure. I mean, I could try it, but I could probably. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, with that, I mean that's you're a storyteller, right, and there's storytelling elements in that.
Yes.
So
and you're creating all of that, and aiding it. Like I mean, we've all seen like movies like that are super scary. Like I know whenever I watch stuff with Charlotte, like you just hear the music turn, like here it comes.
Here it is.
Like, you know what I mean? Everybody knows it's like all of a sudden that oboe comes in.
Right.
It's like, hold on.
Or you hear that?
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, it's not the acoustic guitar.
It's either low or high.
Yeah.
It's either...
Right.
Uh-oh.
The shrilling.
It's never good. Never good.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And I wasn't even doing like the sound. Like I wasn't like, you know, hitting watermelons and stuff or like people getting killed and stuff like that. Like I was just creating the sound. But like that looks fun too. Like doing special
Oh, yeah,
effects,
special
sound
effects
effects like that.
sounds.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's fantastic. Yeah, I forgot all about that.
Wow. So here we were like, yeah, we don't. He even said it to me. He's like, we don't even have to do research, and this asshole went and did research. So
Yeah.
I couldn't help it.
yeah,
I was like, I got to ask him
That's-
something he's not expecting.
That's old research. I mean,
Yeah.
that's yeah.
that's digging deep.
That's kind of my gig.
Yeah, no,
on
that's
this-
cool.
On this show.
Yeah, I liked what you did to
I book him. He
what's his face
Digs
from
deep.
from Silverstein when you're like had the picture of him like
Right.
just basically naked with a
yeah.
hey, what's going on here, man? Like, that's
Give me
a
some
question.
context, bro.
That's a question nobody wants to answer.
Funny enough, we do have a picture. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
Yeah.
I looked for something.
Oh, dude, awful.
Of course he did.
I did
Yeah.
look for something. I looked through every picture of you I could find.
I don't think there's many.
There's nothing embarrassing.
No,
No, there are some. There are some absolutely horrible. pictures.
There's nothing that I mean.
horrible
sure,
pictures
horrible
are
pictures
one thing,
aren't
but
embarrassing.
embarrassing pictures.
Horrible
are
pictures
another.
are just
Yeah,
you
I
know,
don't know that
this
I have
angle sucks. Or,
I tend not to get in like embarrassing situations because like I just don't.
right.
well, and you said already that you're not really a thrill seeker. So
Yeah.
you're very unlikely to be caught.
Right,
Doing
doing
something
something
stupid.
weird. Right. Usually, my pictures.
You can find me doing lots of dumb things.
Right,
Right.
because you'll step into those.
Now here we are.
There's right, but there's lots of pictures of me that are like beyond unflattering. Like I know that Off the Turnpike used to love posting those of me, and sometimes I'd see them and I'd be like, that had to be edited. Like there's just no way I look like that because a lot of times it's like when I'm singing and looking down my guitar. I don't know if you can see this, but I can bring. Let me get this for your viewers. I can bring that out, and it's kind of like that lizard thing.
Right.
And like sometimes they would have caught some of those pictures, and then Andy would just do that thing where he put the picture and then blow it up a little more, and then put the picture and then blow it up a little more. It's like I can't even
I
untag
have
myself fast enough.
I have like some
Yeah.
people, their chin goes right back to their throat. Mine's at a slow,
it's a subtle.
Yeah.
slow decline.
That's why
Right?
I have this, because
Yeah.
otherwise I'd have like a gizzard kind
Yeah.
of thing going on.
Dude, even like when I did lose a bunch of weight, I gained it all back. But when I did lose a bunch of
Yeah.
weight for that while, I still had that. I
Yeah.
just still had it. It was just one of those things.
It's just what you do.
And it's just my face.
What's that thing on?
Just my face and
You gotta
head.
do that a lot.
We did.
And
We
then
did on our
this on Bugs
Instagram.
Bunny.
We did those. We started doing those like dad jokes things where like
I saw those.
We did like where we're looking at each other, trying to crack each other up, and I'm looking at the side of my face, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
This is why I never do side profiles.
We
because
actually
Yeah,
we
it's awesome.
we
my
had
face just
an
goes,
original
Oh.
I look like a bullfrog.
It's
we had an original
sometimes.
angle from that. That wasn't even the first angle,
Yeah.
and we watched it back, and Jimmy just looked up and he was just like, "Yeah, we can't use that. We need
Right.
we need to reposition this camera because
Right.
this is bad." for
Little
both
did
of
I
us."
know that I was going to look the entire time like a bullfrog that was
It's-
warning him that he was.
This
too
is why
close
we
to
have
me.
the table now.
Yeah, no, it's smart. I'm appreciating the table and the microphone is like
Yeah.
perfect for me.
Yeah,
Like
This
a
is
really-
why we did this.
Yeah.
yeah.
Really,
The table
thank you.
is because
Before we kind of sat back here and we're like sitting down like this,
like
and we're
slouched and we're like, "Hey, what's up? Hey, what we're tasting today?"
Ba-da-boo-ba-boo. Gonna eat some neighborhood. Yeah.
while I'm drinking
Right.
my drink.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, I was saying on the box a couple weeks ago that my beloved Hurricanes had played against Elwood, which is like, if you don't know, it's a couple towns over from us, and Elwood is like a real serious team, and we just are not like
Yeah,
at all.
right.
And
I remember you talking about
right,
this
you
on the
guys know
show.
that, but they filmed the game, and my girls, stalkers that they are, found it online, and so we were all watching, and I sent it to the parents. I'm like, you should watch this. Like, we don't play very well, but it is good to see like where we can work on. It was really like as a coach, like I
Yeah,
actually
it's
sat there and
invaluable.
watched it. Right, and I was watching it, and so I'm watching part 2 of the first half of the game. I'm just sitting on my couch. I'm watching it on YouTube on TV, and I'm like, this is good. I'm sitting there with Charlotte. All of a sudden, this fat fucking animal just waddles into frame. wearing exactly what I wore that day.
How dare you guys not speak first?
I was like, it was shocking. Like, it shocked my being. I was like, holy shit. Why did nobody say anything? Like, if I would never let somebody go out in public like that. I was like, I just like put on a jacket.
I've seen pictures of myself on stage, on shows that I did with you.
Yeah.
And you did not tell me.
Yeah.
Well,
How horrible.
there is a difference. I will tell you, there is a difference between a bad catch on a photograph, because we've all got, you know what I mean?
This is
Right,
like me
we've
sitting
all-
with everybody, and I'm just, for some reason, just like two of me.
I don't know that I've seen that, but photographs are different.
I was like 20 pounds heavier than I am now, and now I've gained 30 pounds from when I lost a bunch of weight.
I don't know that I've ever seen those on you, but this was
It's
video,
because we see
man.
each other a lot.
Right.
It is.
And then you see that video, you see that photo, and you're like, who is that?
Yeah. I mean, like,
slovenly fellow?
This video, like, I had a solid A, maybe B cup,
Okay.
and I
all right.
literally waddled.
Well, puberty.
Yeah, well, it's nice that I finally got there, but like, I was just so shocked and stunned. Like, oh man, it was like, I was like, I'm making changes right now.
Yeah, I was also taken aback when I saw
It fucked you
video
up.
footage of me, because it was just like you see it and you're like, huh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it looks
Yeah.
like I ate me.
wow, wow.
Right. I think I started intermittent
Girls
fasting the very next day.
Yeah.
I was like, this is what's happening next, and I'm just gonna go do this. Something I, toyed with and researched, and like, I'm just gonna start doing this because that's gotta happen. But like, man, I don't even know. Like, I know what I weigh, and I know how much more that is than I should weigh, and how much more it is that I weighed than when I was looking somewhat decent. And it's like, I don't know why. I mean, the brain is a miraculous machine, because my brain has figured out how to justify to me that increasing my weight by 20% is something that maybe not everybody knows. And I'm here to tell you right here, this breaking news, not that you have any sound effect, breaking news that it does not work. People do notice it, and honestly, I was ashamed. I had said not too long ago that I have been ashamed and embarrassed of how I've looked for almost 20 years. Just body images, and like, people can argue with me all they want. Like, it's my own shit to shovel, and it's tough. But I have never been more ashamed or embarrassed of how I look than right now, and that is saying something. Like, that is the topper of a 20-year run with this. And it's like, it is like, there is literally no more going up for me. Like, I can't do it. So it's like, I'm just doing everything I can to just kind of bring it back down and stuff like that. But I will tell you, man, seeing that video is like, I recommend it for everybody that thinks that they're in good shape, man. Like, let me just get you a terribly unflattering camera angle from high up.
Right,
High up.
right.
And no lighting. Except
High up, which is supposed to
sun
be
and
better.
sweat.
High up is supposed to be better.
It was,
That's how the selfies are done.
yeah.
Right.
I can't believe my players walked near me so I could sub them in. I would have been afraid for my life if I had to walk in with a monster like that. Like, is he going to eat me? Like, people are watching, right? Like, people know where I am. And I'm just like, come on, girls. Like, we got to sub you. Like, what, is that mayonnaise? Like, no, I'm going to sub you in.
So I'm gonna take that, and I'm gonna walk it into a question.
Oh,
that I had.
fantastic.
Oh, there we go.
I do like a good segue.
Because one
Not a
thing
sponsor.
that I always appreciate with you as a songwriter is your ability to put yourself out there and
Oh, yeah.
put that raw nerve out there. And it's also something I noticed when you started doing the box, right? So you doing that show, I don't know what you had planned on it being when you
Right.
first decided to do it, but it almost has become like a catharsis for you and an
Yeah.
outlet for
Oh, yeah.
you and
For
an
sure.
event for you. Did you know it was going to be that from the beginning?
Nope.
So what was the idea? What was the plan?
Well, the whole plan on the box, and I've told the origin story a lot, but just to do it quickly here, the owner of the station basically bullied me into doing a show.
Right.
I was doing a lot of posting on Facebook, saying like, you should check out this band, because I was touring a lot. I was touring a lot in the Northeast, and I knew so many bands, and like we all do, like we know so many bands that nobody else knows, and we're like, people would love this band.
Yeah.
Like people would just love, and especially our people, like we know like what our people would like. Because you like us, like you're definitely gonna like this. And so we would find like all these talented bands, and I would just post them on Facebook, like, hey man, you should listen to this song because this and this is the other thing. And this is like pre-Spotify, so I'd have to like go to like their MySpace or sometimes like a YouTube or whatever. And Presty, who owns the station, was like, wouldn't it just be better for you to say all that shit and then play the song that you're talking about? And I was like, dude, I'm in a band, I got a job, I got a family, like, I don't have time to do this. And he was just like, do it in your house, I'll give you all the software you need, just pick a time. And he was like, do a 3-hour show once a week, like Thursday nights. And I'm like, nope. I'm like, I'll do 2 hours at noon on Thursday. And he was like, it's a weird time, but go ahead and do it. And the whole premise of the show was basically to play these bands and play them like I would envision every single radio station, rock radio station on earth to be like, to play your underground, unknown bands that you yourself went out and discovered or somehow found, and you intermix them with bands that have made it, like national bands. And I was doing that and able to, like, you couldn't, like, there was no difference. I mean, like, every now and then there's like a horribly recorded record, but like not often, not often at the level that we participate at. Like it's like I would play like Sharetta into Tool, into Deftones, into Mother, into Bound by Substance, and of course like into Craving and stuff, and even all your projects along the way and stuff like that. Like it's not, they just flowed. They were, it was fine. I mean, like the only time it's really a problem is when I'm going like back and forth when I played like I played like the new Green Day song, which is like the happiest song ever, and then I went to the new Sum 41 song, which makes you just want to like put your head in the blender. It's just like, and I did those back to back, and the entire audience is like, dude, what are you doing now? You just U-turn. I'm like, it's fun to do that, but like, and I'll just, but so that was the main premise. And then since we were touring so much, and I knew all these bands personally, every time I would play a song, I would be like, and I got to tell you about this time with like Bound by Substance, right. And I would tell like the story, like how I met Know Your Enemy. Like I love that shit. So I would tell those stories, and like people were reacting to that. Like, holy shit, I had no idea. Like you didn't know them. Like always, like wasn't born knowing Know Your Enemy. Like I gotta go meet them. And then that translated into all these other stories that I had, like not intimate, but like behind the scenes stories about other bands. And like, then that became something that nobody else really had access to except us. Like as bands, we all know that.
That's what we do. We just talk shop.
Right. And people like the funny thing is it's like people that we know that we consider friends and stuff, but like our fans and stuff, like they look at us like it's some sort of impenetrable wall, and we're just like we're them. I mean, like we're not.
Well, that's what brings me to the first thing that I was talking about, is that you like your fan base loves you because of how accessible you are.
Right.
But also because of how just open and honest you are.
Right.
About everything.
Yeah.
Good, bad, ugly.
I try and be.
Else.
I do try and be. It's an easier way to communicate. It is rough though, because I have definitely been in situations where I put myself out there in songs and on the show where I wish I hadn't. I'm trying to be honest, and I'm trying to explain like what my things are, but I've definitely been called out for like, why is it more important for you to express what you're feeling and not take other people's feelings into consideration? And I'm like, well, because I'm trying to talk for 2 hours and say something. And a lot of times on the bottom, like that's how the whole top 20 started. Like, dude, this show never had a 20-minute introduction, let alone 25-minute introduction.
Right.
And for some reason, like it just evolved to where like something would happen on the stairs on the way down to the show that would just piss me off. And like over the past year or two, like the political climate really gave me a lot, and I definitely lost fans of the show because I have a very straight line of political, like I am very socially liberal, and I'm like fiscally conservative, and like I can piss off people on either side of the spectrum, depending on if I'm talking about immigration or I'm talking about like gay marriage or stuff like that. Like I'm able to just piss people off, and I've literally watched listeners leave.
Hot button issues.
Yeah, but like I mean, I don't mean to do that. I've definitely cost the band fans over the years, which is why I try and stay off Facebook, because I just fight with people all the time. Like, because I'll just say something. Like even not too recent. Like I posted something about like the voter stuff that's going on in the country, like the voter restriction. I'm like, dude, it's mentioned in the amendments like 3 times. Like it's got 3 like it's a serious right in this country to vote. And people are like, well, we need to do this and we need to stop all this. And I'm like, everybody should have like everyone needs to have like a driver's license and stuff like that. Well, that's a poll tax, and you're not, because if the government doesn't pay for it, you have to pay for it. And by law, you cannot force somebody to have to pay to vote. Mm-hmm. And I've learned a lot in some of these arguments. Like I've talked to some people about, like I used to be like pretty, anti, and I'm still anti-gun, but I'm very pro the right to own them.
Right.
And I've had a change of heart where I've reread like the Second Amendment, and it's what it says.
Yeah.
Like interpretations aside, like, yeah, man, Ben Franklin was out banging women, and he didn't really consider that we would have an AR-15. Like, do you need one? No. Is it protected in the Second Amendment? Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because they said something about you're allowed to bear arms, and that's an arm. And it's like, you cannot like it, but that's the way it is. And that realization got me into so much trouble, because that armed me with, yeah, man, I understand what you're saying about not wanting people to vote, but that's not what the Constitution says. So
right.
I'm sorry.
So you can't hold on to it here.
Right.
And then ignore it over here.
Right, exactly. Like you need to, like, yeah, it's an imperfect document. Any scholar will tell you that, and this is where it's imperfect for you. And once I kind of hit that realization, everybody just steamrolled over anybody that was talking. And, it cost me probably, tens of fans.
Tens of fans. We're going to take a quick break, guys. We're jumping to a commercial right about
after these messages. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, I got a quick question for you. Are you dog people? If you know anything about us, you know that here at Bacon Is My Podcast, our dogs are our family members, right? We love to give them a little something extra to look forward to every month, get them excited, and that's why we subscribe to BarkBox. So every single month, Bruce, Bane, and Bruno are treated to 2 brand new durable toys, plus like uniquely curated packs of treats. It keeps them excited, keeps them engaged, and you never have to go out shopping for stuff. So if you have a 4-legged furry friend that is your favorite, alliteration, we got a special deal for you. Just for being a Bacon Is My Podcast consumer, if you head over to baconismypodcast.com and scroll to the sponsors, click on the BarkBox link, you'll get an extra toy in your first order from BarkBox. So head over, once again, baconismypodcast.com, click on the BarkBox link, and spoil your favorite 4-legged furry friend today. More alliteration. What's your bacon?
And we're back.
Cheers to being back.
Cheers to being
I
back.
could say a lot about that. Are we back?
We are back.
7 questions. 7 questions. All right.
So we were talking about.
We answered 1 question so far.
We were talking about
Beat
just
my
kind
own
of putting
time.
yourself out there and all that kind of stuff. And another, like a follow-up to that I wanted to say is, once you did start getting on the box, you really, you've turned it into this community almost where you are, and you always have been, you are like the Isle of Misfit Toys.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yes.
And I think that's awesome. I've at times I've considered my band similar to that and stuff like that. But you, not only like with Revel 9, but also with the box, you've created this community, and they're a community that really kind of like, they're there to hear the music you play.
Yep.
They're there to hear the new bands that you put out, but they're also there to, because they can't sit with you.
Right.
And talk to you about your day.
Right. This is pretty close.
But they actually want to. Like you've got this group that every week is like, I want to know what you think. I want to know what you're about. I want to know what you're doing. Right?
Well, I want to clear up something real quick, because they'll be the first to point this out. Like, I don't have shit. I don't have anything. I don't have a group. Like, they are a group.
Right.
And they have found the show. Like, and to their credit, they have formed their own group within the show. And I've watched it happen.
I get that.
Like, they're not mine. I'm the legal guardian.
No, but
I can sign permission slips, but not
they're not
report.
there, right? But they're not there.
Right.
They're in your orbit.
Yeah, absolutely in my orbit. Right.
So without you, that orbit doesn't exist.
Correct. I am absolutely the mosquito light that everybody,
well, and that's kind of awesome. That's what isn't that kind of what we're all trying to do?
Well,
in the business of entertainment,
yes.
in the business of everything. We're trying to attract, we're trying to find our audience, we're trying to find our niche, we're trying to find our thing, and we're also trying to balance this want to give and provide and entertain with also this need to get stuff out and exercise or whatever and do our own thing. And we're trying to find a place for those things to coincide.
Right. 100%.
I know that I'm filled a lot of times with a lot of thoughts that are really hard for me to organize.
Yeah.
One of my biggest issues that I've always had as a songwriter is finding a way to create a line to put things in.
Yeah.
Right? That organizational thing. I've found that for me, having all this dialogue that I have with random people, with random things, being presented with things that I have to analyze or that I choose to analyze,
Right.
Has actually helped me in ways in songwriting, because whether I've talked somebody through something that they're going through, or whether I've vented about something I've gone through, or whether I've used an experience that I've had to relate to somebody, I have organized a couple of things, and then I can translate that sometimes into my writing. Do you think that having the box has helped you in that at all? Do you think that it's had an effect on your writing at all?
I don't know. I don't think the box has actually had an effect on my writing, just because my writing just seems to come from a different space.
Do you think being able to get shit out,
it might have impeded my writing,
free stuff away from your
Yeah.
that also,
That's another thing.
because maybe I don't feel so bad about certain things by the time I talk to them. Like, there's been many times on the box where I'll literally will tell people, like, I'm just gonna just talk this out for a minute because I haven't thought it through, and I'm like, that's my process. In my real life, it's just quieter, I'm because where I rehearse is an hour away from my house, so I have a lot of processing time in those hours. And I actually, that's another thing, like where I've changed. Like I used to hate the fact that I had to go all the way out to Long Beach twice a week to rehearse,
right?
Because it's 55 minutes from door to door.
Right.
And it's also Long Beach.
It's also Long Beach, and sometimes it can really smell like a clam's asshole, and sometimes it's really nice, but not usually.
Do clams' assholes smell different than their mouths?
You know what? It does. and if you don't believe me,
I'll take your word
check
for
the
it.
ocean charts, and when you find low tide, because don't forget we rehearse like right by the train station too, so it's the train terminus and the clam's asshole, so it's like everybody's
double
asshole.
whammy.
Right.
At the same time. But like once I had this, I just and I'm not very good at this, but I changed this perspective. I'm like, I'm going to use this time, like I'm going to use these powers for good. Like I'm going to do my vocal warm-ups on the way out there, and then I'm going to work on material as I'm still driving, and then on the way home I'm going to work on like new material, or I'm going to listen to stuff that I really need to listen to, or I would like listen to songs like for the box, or like I know a lot of times you'll send me stuff like whether you're working on, and it's like at practice, like that's the first thing I'm listening to as I'm going
It's so funny too because I know when you're at rehearsal,
right? Because you'll get a compliment from me like around
I try to
1 o'clock
remember
in the
to
morning.
send you things on.
Right, it's a good time.
Yeah.
It's a good time to do it. Like if you're looking. If you're looking to get my opinion.
Sometimes I'll send them like just before the box, and you'll go, later.
Right.
Right. Sometimes you'll go, oh, this is great. Sometimes you go, later.
There's a really like a fine meter line. Like how much time do I have to just fuck off? And then
one thing that's really funny, now that we're talking about this, so I send you shit at like 7 a.m.
Yeah. Well, your life is skewed from mine. Like,
right.
You're
It's
earlier
just
than mine.
our lives clocks.
The three of us.
Are just,
It's really
way
funny.
different. Way different. So I tend to send all of my best things to you guys at like 7 a.m.
Right.
8 a.m.
Yeah, I wake up to a Spotify link most days.
Right. Your stuff, you're pretty consistent, like 9:30, 10:30.
Right.
Like 11 for you.
Yeah. That's about if I send, because a lot of times like I won't send stuff. Like I want to send stuff, but I won't send stuff. Like it's not ready, or I just don't want to do it. But 11 o'clock is usually when I'm like rolling. Like it's like the best part of my day. like they always say, like the people that like get up like with the sunrise that follow the sun like are the most successful people. They get the most done. And
Explains a lot about my life.
right, exactly. Like I can't do that. I hit the pinnacle of my existence when I started getting up at 8:20.
Right.
And I was like, this is the most adult thing I have ever done in my entire life. And it was like the greatest thing. And it really bummed me out, like with the whole COVID thing. I haven't been able to get back to the gym yet. I haven't been able to get back into rhythm because I have this thing now where I will wake up to pee once a night. And then once I do that, I am up for 2 hours, which I don't know if any of you have ever been up for 2 hours in the middle of the night.
It's not good.
Not awesome.
It's not.
It's not, because 2 hours isn't enough time to do anything.
Right. It's not enough time to do anything. And unless you actually give up, and I've done this, I don't know if you guys have done this, like if you've ever been at like at the 5:30 mark where it's like, I'm just going to get up. And I'm just going to bang out a whole lot of things. So then you get up and then 90 minutes later, you are more tired than you have ever been in your entire life. So I'm glad you got those emails out. Well, you go to work at 4
90 minutes later, I'm at work sitting at my desk in front of my computer going, wow, this sucks.
Right.
So Jen, she'll every once in a while, she listens to the show and she'll go,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jen.
She listens to the show, right? And sometimes we'll go long. Like sometimes we have double tapings. Sometimes we do a tasting and whatever.
We have a talky guest.
So yeah, sometimes we have a super talky guest. And
good company.
There are some episodes she's like, you got to stop drinking so much. I said, it is 1 a.m. and I got up at 6.
Right. Drinking is the least of my concerns at this moment.
I am not wasted. I am tired.
I will tell you, life on the road.
Had some whiskey.
Life on the road for me has always been about the tired. When I'm driving home and we get back, because we'll hit that Bell Parkway, man. Sometimes we get it at like 3 a.m, and I'm
doesn't matter.
Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. And my greatest road story to date of that involves you, because it involves our trip back from South by
Texas.
Yeah, and we were driving.
Dude, I was out of my mind.
It was the greatest single text interaction I had with Jim.
While you were driving.
While we were driving, because we're driving up. I think it's the Blue Ridge Parkway, so it's just outside of New Jersey, but like maybe still Kentucky. I don't know where we were, but we were driving. It's 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Right. I don't even know how long ago it was that we played, but I was tired, and I'm driving, and Tony's sitting shotgun, and I just leaned to Tony, and I'm like, "Hey, man, can you just look up a hotel?" And he's like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Did you just see that spaceship?" And he's like, "No." And I'm like, "That's why." So then I text Jim, who I knew was 2 hours behind us.
Right.
I'm like, "I think I just saw a spaceship." Oh no, we're gonna pull in for the night because I think I just saw a spaceship. And all I get back was, "I think I saw a lot of stuff." And I'm like, he saw that spaceship.
Don't go away. We'll be back right after these messages.
All right, we got to take a quick time out. As you could probably tell by now, Jim and I, we're t-shirt guys. And we're always looking for the most comfortable and best fitting t-shirts possible when it comes to ourselves or our merch. Sometimes they're soft and they unravel in a few washes. Sometimes they're durable, but they feel like sandpaper on your nipples. And it's just not our thing. Well, maybe it's Jim's thing, but it's definitely not my thing. And sometimes you clean your shirts, and from sweating at work or on stage, they just kind of get all funky even after you clean them. Well, Fresh Clean Tees is a solution for all your t-shirt woes. With multiple styles and colors, they keep you looking so fresh and so clean. Go to baconismypodcast.com, click on the sponsors tab, and click on the Fresh Clean Tees link, and start looking great and feeling great without spending a fortune. Again, that's baconismypodcast.com. Click on the sponsors tab, then scroll to that Fresh Clean Tees link to start looking comfortable and stylish at affordable prices.
Do you have a a song that you put on when you guys go on the road that's like, we're on the road?
Nope, I do
No?
not. I am such a this is my favorite song ever this week kind of
Yeah.
guy. Like I have 3 main Spotify playlists. I have the Hard Rock Lunchbox playlist, which is everything. Because what I do is like when I hear a song I like, I add it to that playlist, and then I grab it for the show. So pretty much everything that's been on the Hard Rock Lunchbox over the past 4 years is in that playlist. It's a huge playlist. Then I have the curated one, which is the Hard Rock Lunchbox Top 150, give or take. And that is because I pull songs off, which is really hard to do. I personally feel bad every time I pull a song off.
It's like when somebody dies and
Yeah.
they're on your phone and you're like,
Well, I don't do that. I'm not heartless.
Yeah.
I mean, if you only had 150 contacts, I would
What's
do
wrong
it.
with you?
Right. But you have unlimited contacts and you still do that. Like,
Yeah.
we should talk about this.
we should probably talk.
This is
about
awful. Like,
Yeah.
what about people that are just sick? Like, what probably.
that. Well, no. No, you gotta
Put them on a
wait.
maybe list?
Right.
No, you gotta wait them. You gotta wait them out.
Wait it out.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
You
that's
gotta
not-
wait,
not
and
calculated
then
at
once
all.
they're in the ground, what's
Let
the
me see your phone. What is my status?
statute of limitation?
Oh, maybe it's like Final Destination. Like
Or-
if you're not on Mikey's phone.
Ooh,
Is that-
that would, guys.
The Black Mirror.
I have a new movie for you to score.
Oh?
We don't have the movie, but we can.
It's
spoil
called
the fuck out of
The Phone Book.
Mm.
it. I like it. I like it a lot. I feel like I was answering a question.
I was saying, do you guys have like do you have
Oh, yeah.
a song
Right.
that
So I have
lets
that-
you feel like,
I do not, but I have that third playlist that is not public,
okay,
and it is the best new music under the sun, and it's like new, like I spell like new to you.
right.
And those are the songs that once I listen to something 20 times in a row on repeat, I put it in that playlist.
okay.
So when everybody falls asleep, that's the playlist I listen to. But this is like after.
Gotcha.
I don't really have anything that pumps me up. A lot of times when we're going to shows, I'll listen to the bands we're going to play with, especially if we're going to like a festival or something. I'll create like a playlist or something. Or back in the old days, I used to just get all their music and have it on iTunes and we would just
Right.
listen to that. I have a lot of those. But you know, I mean, like we just have the standard, like, you know, straight lines when we're going over to Verrazano, like, you know, and Noodle's always yelling stuff out. Like he's like the most obnoxious jukebox operator there is.
So you
He's
get
like,
a couple things.
play that band that we like. It's like
You have a few things that are like, when we're on the road, we listen
Right.
to these songs.
right, but it's
But
not
they're
me.
not- they're not.
Right, it's
Okay.
not me.
How
It's
about
more.
you? Do you have anything like that?
So, not really. The
I'm curious
only
because we
person-
do.
Mike can't go on the road because he tried to go on the road and then he caused COVID.
I have.
Oh yeah, that's
I
right.
have.
That's
I have
true.
two
That's
road.
true.
See those posters?
Yeah,
I have 2 road posters.
That's how you know how much you went on the road.
I
Right.
gave those
The
to you,
two
right?
posters.
right, exactly.
Did I give those to you?
I don't think so.
I think I have copies. I'll give those to you.
They're laminated.
For anybody who's not watching,
I've been on the
who
road
Can't
twice.
see.
Did you play any of those? I know the People Food one was canceled.
Right.
Both of them were canceled.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. Those are both
Oh, yeah,
COVID.
April.
Yeah.
Right.
I was
Yeah.
playing both of those.
Yeah.
Wow, look at me.
I was invited to both.
You were.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were invited to one of them.
Craving
One of those,
Strange is
not
way too big.
No.
I still,
Yeah,
I, still
they were-
not.
I still have all of our
That's not what
shows
it was.
written down in our studio because I will not erase them. And I just look at them and I'm like, Jesus Christ, we were a busy band.
Well,
And it's like, we are not a busy
Yeah.
band.
something
Man,
heavy
we used to be so busy.
was going to be a
Yeah.
busy band.
They were. Yeah.
You were like,
We
booking like
had. Yeah. We had like every.
there would literally be a guest
3 or
host
4
where you're
weeks.
sitting right now if COVID had not happened.
Yeah.
There,
Probably.
there would be no podcast.
There would probably be no podcast.
There would be no.
There would be no podcast.
There'd be 2
Um,
guest hosts.
Yeah.
Me and Annie.
Right.
We'd still be talking. We'd still be sharing the video of "Bacon Is My Passion" playing once.
I
10
like
years
it.
ago.
I think it's longer than that now.
No Patreon.
That's where that would be.
Yeah.
You'd
Yeah.
be like, hey, remember that time
Yeah, there
that
would be
neither
no
of our
Patreon.
bands would agree to place this thing, and so me and you just did it?
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, that would dictate our friendship from that point on.
Perfect.
Like,
Yeah.
Let's do
neither
that.
of our bands want to do this, so we're just going to do
Let's
it.
just do something.
Do you remember when Dower was telling me about that project? Like the first time, I was like, "What are you? What?"
Well, yeah, he was going
they're
to play the
clearly
Foreman
lying
role.
to you.
Yeah, yeah.
But he was so excited about it. I'm like, I don't even understand what you're saying to me right now.
Yeah, no, he was very integral, and he was going to be the Foreman girl.
He was gonna,
He would've nailed it.
He was our merch girl.
He would have absolutely nailed it.
He would have nailed it.
And we were
I
just sold
still
bacon.
have him in my phone.
Yeah, unlike some people apparently. I'm just saying, like, you have unlimited.
Because you know what,
space
man,
out
it
there.
feels weird
All
to
right.
be like, you know what, you're dead to me.
All right.
It feels weird.
Well.
I bet
will
I have
say-
several dead people in my phone right now.
I think I have dead people in my phone.
Dead to you. Yeah.
But for me,
Yeah.
like, I know it's summer when, for some reason, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I should put Blind Melon on that first record.
Oh man.
Yeah,
come
you
on.
did mention that.
That's
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 summer.
a
to
layup
me,
right there.
right?
I love Blind Melon.
But every time that I go on the road with the band, for whatever reason, since Sick as Monday on, like not before that, but Sick as Monday on, it's like once we cross over the bridge, someone puts on James Gang, Fun 49.
Nice. And that's just what you guys
And
do?
that's just, then I feel like everything I hate is behind me.
right. Because it is.
And I'm on the road.
Pretty much.
Everything I'm about to do for the next 2 weeks or so
Mm-hmm.
is what I want my life to be.
Right.
So for some reason, I've attached that song to that feeling,
That's fantastic.
and so I don't listen to that song at any other time because I don't want to sully it.
I could see
You know
that.
what? We talked
like
about
that.
that the other day when we were talking about drinking.
Right.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
By the way, a road thing that Jen and I do is when we hit the road, for whatever reason, I don't know why, we listen to the first 2 Daughtry albums.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
like front
kind
to
of
back.
front to back. Yeah,
Wow.
I didn't know that was a record that was a front to backer.
I've never listened to either of those.
I
records.
gotta tell you, they're
I mean,
pretty
it's
fucking
those
good.
Stone Temple
Dude, he's a
Pilots,
great-
Purple.
Singer.
Yeah,
He's a great singer. I don't listen to many records.
don't go
front to back.
past
Yeah.
the third because then she starts like creeping in the third. I'm like, all right, put something heavy
I
on.
didn't realize the missus was
That-
a
that-
Daughtry.
Not my
first-
band, like something good.
Right.
That's heavy.
That first Blind Melon record is my front to back in the summer. But other than that, like, I don't have any front to back records. that
See,
I've
my
listened to.
my summer record is definitely Blood Sugar Sex Magic.
Good one. Definitely a good
I
one.
have a summer record. I don't feel like I do. I have these periods in my life that are defined by songs and records I was listening to, like listening.
Well,
to,
see, I
like,
take you more as a song guy.
I have,
than a
but it's
front to back
it's
record.
more.
Which I understand. I am too.
Well,
I've started to
It depends on the record. Like I said, like Stone Temple Pilots has a couple records that for me are. It's almost like hard to not listen front to back. Like
Yeah.
I'll just put that on.
I
I do
was
that with Our
Tiny
Lady
Music.
Peace.
I love Tiny Music.
Tiny Music, I can do that with.
I love that record.
I love the first Stone Temple of Core. I
Core,
love,
of course.
I love Purple.
I don't.
Um,
I'm not
yeah,
a core-
I like
and that's fine. Like
some
it's really
Purple.
it's a question of like kind of where I was at those times. Like,
yeah.
But like I was gonna say, like I have these periods of music. Like there's this one summer that I can remember that we had like a boombox in the kitchen, and I had the Moby CD, the one with the song that he did with Gwen Stefani,
West Side.
West Side, right?
Yep.
And I had there's a band called Moist out of Canada.
Moist,
Oh my God!
I love
what
Mercedes and Dime was such an amazing record, and they had a song called "Breathe," I think it was.
Yes.
I mean, those 2 records. Oh, and Drops of Jupiter, I think I also had.
Okay.
Excellent.
But those 3, like it was literally like Friday night. Now I need to preface this with this was at a time when my family was buying Kettle One by the case, and we would hit Friday nights and we would just hang. Like it was
Right.
we had made it. We had a young family and stuff like that. And we would put on those CDs, and it just defines a moment for me. But like much like some stuff in high school defines it, some stuff in college. Like I remember like when I went to buy the singles tape
Right.
from the soundtrack of
Yeah.
singles because
Citizen Dick, man.
well I
Touch
wanted,
me, I'm Dick.
but it was like I wanted to hear Wood like immediately,
Yeah.
and this was pre
That song hit me in a
Yeah.
and like
crazy way.
I stopped like maybe Mr. Chibo's maybe, and I was like I need this song now.
Yeah.
Where is it? And like so I have like these things, and it's like sometimes it's hard for me to believe that I'm not listening to them all the time.
Mhm.
I'm just realizing now, and I
I had a
totally
lot of Green Day. Too.
I don't mean to interject that, but I think I've covered and almost released 2 songs on the single soundtrack.
Oh, really? Which one?
Would and State of Love and Trust.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a good
I've sung on a Alice in Chains cover. I don't know when or if it'll come out,
Or if your vocals will even be
or
on.
if my vocals will even make it on there, because
Somebody else
I'm
thinks
not
they
supposed to be on it to begin with.
I covered.
I was just like, hey,
I
can
covered Alice in
can I do
Chains
that?
one time, and Tony did not sing on it, and I was like, "This is not going to work out."
No.
We did it once at Even Flow. We did Them Bones,
Oh, okay.
and it was awful.
You,
I did
you,
that-
you give me an hour of lead time, and I got you.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we were just
1
just
hour.
like fooling around with like songs because like
One
we've
hour of
done
lead time.
we've done a lot of covers that people have really liked.
Yeah.
But they overlook graciously the covers that we have just destroyed. Like we've done some covers, and we've done some covers that were really good that just did not go over. Like we did "Sweet Emotion" really well, and nobody wanted to hear it. Nobody wanted to hear
Oh,
it.
yeah.
FFR did it.
We've
Same
failed
thing.
Yeah,
spectacularly.
and for whatever reason, but then we did. I'm at the Pizza Hut. I'm at the Taco Bell,
Right.
and people were requesting that from us. And we didn't even do it particularly well. In fact, that video I have of us doing it at the School of Rock thing is one of the greatest videos because it's shot like we're on stage and it's shot from really far away, and what you see is the ripple effect of what? No. All right. Like, there's this ripple effect.
Yeah,
of people
I was there. That's exactly
people
what-
understanding
that's exactly
what was
what
happening because we did it right in the middle of San Jose, like right in the breakdown. And I was like, all right, not sure how this is gonna go, but
that was definitely a roll of the dice. What's one cover that you know you did really well that people just did not respond to, and that you maybe played once, and then you were like, "Yes,
Sweet Emotion." Like
Okay.
we nailed Sweet Emotion. Like it was
Yeah.
really good. And I changed the key, and like nobody, they were like, "Just call us when this is over." Like,
How about you?
You know what? FFR did Sweet Emotion as well, but we also did Safety Dance, and I feel
I
like
remember
there
we
are
did that.
so many songs that this happens to be one of them, where it's just you get through the first verse as soon as you hit that first chorus. Once you're done with the first chorus, done.
dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
We can go where we want to.
And you know what? It was great.
I love that song.
It was great because
dance?
it was a
We can
super
dance.
easy song to sing. You can sing that.
It's
Yeah,
so
no matter
good.
what.
Yeah.
That
When
might
you
even
guys-
be too low for you. Like
when you guys
that's like
did
more
that-
my area.
when you guys did that song, I was there, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna kill," and it didn't.
As soon as
I was like,
as
"Oh,
soon as the
shit."
first chorus was over, that was it.
Yeah.
I also felt that way about 18 in Life, Skid Row.
Did you
that?
wait? Did you do the whole safety dance, or
The
you
whole
just?
thing.
Oh, see, that's
That was
I
the
think
problem.
that's where you run into trouble. Like I think half of the, it's not even my, it wasn't even my thing, but the genius on my part was stealing it from another band. Is just doing a little bit of it. Like when you do just a little bit of a song, you give them a little bit of a flavor and then
Right.
kind of back in. Like now we did that. I think our most successful with Kashmir, because Kashmir is a 75-minute song, so like you
Right.
can't do all of it. And we used to put that in between Awake and All I Become, and we cherry picked the best parts of Kashmir. And like there's a video of us doing it at Arlene's Grocery. Like it's all black and white, and we just effing nailed it. Like
Yeah.
we were so good at it, and we stole that. We stole Kashmir from this band up at the Room. This band of like 14 and 15-year-old kids. I think they were all girls, maybe not. But this girl who used to play there all the time, because the Room, because I don't know that anybody would remember, or anybody listening now would remember, but the
Right.
Room was this place up in Connecticut that was like dedicated to like having young bands, like preschool rock. So
Yeah.
young bands that like couldn't play anywhere in this alcohol-free zone, but it was like great because you were playing with kids that were like so into music. So this
Right.
band did Kashmir, and they
playing-
did all of it.
playing
And Noodle's like,
sweet
"Why are we
video
doing
games.
this?" I'm like, "We're doing this tomorrow. What are you talking about?" We're literally stealing this, and we went up, and the first time we played it was at the Room, and this girl Lauren and her band were in the room because they had played with us,
Yep.
and we announced that we were doing this and that we had stolen it from them, and so. Hope that was okay. And they were totally okay with it. They were actually honored that they had done something to inspire like a quote unquote real band.
Mhm.
And I never forget that. It was just,
That's
it was
awesome.
so awesome. But it was so like, they did a good job at it, but they did the whole song. And we like literally we did like a verse, a chorus, and a bridge, and a verse, and then we were out, and then we went to All Become, and we did that. I mean, we did that for years. Like people were asking, like, can you play that?
Yeah, absolutely. We did.
Oh, yeah?
We have one that was in the middle of a song that I thought was going to kill because
I know which one you're talking about. I know which one you're talking about, and I'm so upset.
We did Where the Streets Have No Name.
Right.
And I don't know if that's what you were thinking.
No.
But we did that, and we did it in the middle of our song, You'll Never Know. Or we did it at the end of You'll Never Know, and we came in for the bridge.
Right.
Building and bounding.
Yeah.
Right? And we did from there. And literally, and we were like, this is going to be something, like, we're going to have to play You'll Never Know at every show from now on because this is so fucking cool. And we were like, because we killed it. And we were like, and we played it once because the minute we started it, the minute people realized what it was, everybody turned around and went to the bar and got a drink.
Really?
Everybody. And I was like, Bonnie!
Come back!
I thought
when you go there,
I thought
go there. It's all I can do.
I really loved.
Oh God, it failed so spectacularly.
Doesn't that mess you up? Like when you just like,
dude,
I can't wait to hear this.
Sure.
Oh, that's
what were you thinking?
So and
where did we fail that you thought we were going to succeed?
Okay, where I thought that, okay. So you guys did No Diggity.
That should have killed.
That should have killed.
Tom did not that, right?
But that actually did kill at one place, and it didn't kill at another. We did it twice. First time it was great. Second time it was not.
Katie's, it did really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
See, this is weird. We played LTOB, played Katie's. We did We'll Get There, and we went into Pony by Genuine. Didn't go over well.
Yeah. It's definitely weird,
but it's the same genre,
and it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like there's a science to it because you have to know exactly what the audience feels like reacting to that night.
Yeah,
and like it's just tough. I mean, like I got to tell you, and I know I've told this story before, and I know that you know it intimately, but like the greatest cover song story I've ever heard was definitely when your band and my band was playing in the break contest. Because so just for your viewers, the break contest was the battle of the bands,
which are all a scam.
They're all a scam. 5 or 6 years ago, maybe even longer. 7,
way longer.
8,
dude, it's way longer.
That was like 10 years ago.
So 3 years ago. So just yesterday, the other day. And what there was 3 level, like it was done really well because it was really big. It was throughout the tri-state area. There was like 4 or 5 like seeds on the island and stuff like. But so one of
that was before Live Exceptional came out.
Yes,
because it was before Revolution was Revolution. So it was still Ollie's Point. And it was the only time I ever played Ollie's Point because I blacklisted Ollie's Point because they pissed me off, which is a whole other show. But the structure of it is, so it was basically a battle of the bands, and all the bands had like 20 to 30 minute sets, and you would just advance through different levels. And every single set, you had to do your set and add a cover. And it could not be a cover that you had just done in the previous set. And so it was for the break concert or whatever it was. And the Foo Fighters were headlining it. So like we had dabbled with doing like even flow for years. So I was like, this is a slam dunk. We'll just do even flow, blah, blah, blah. So we did our first round and we did even flow. And we got to the second round, but the judges panned us on the cover. They're like, that's the least interesting, obvious choice
we did Doobie Brothers.
You possibly could have made. I don't know what you guys did for your first level.
Because that's when we were doing. That's when we were doing that song, Long Train Running.
Nice. I'm trying to remember what our second cover was.
We actually,
because we had Tommy, and Tommy could kill Long Train
could do that. Yeah.
We actually in FFR we said we were not playing the break because it was a battle of bands.
Smart.
And I was not going to do it. And then Dave R came to us and was like, hey man, like we really, really need you to fill in for this band at this day, whatever. So we wound up filling in for somebody. We wound up playing last. We weren't included in the thing.
Right.
And then he like we were supposed to get like a good spot, and then he ended up pushing us to last.
That sounds about right.
And then he was eating at a restaurant next door, and I went to the restaurant next door. I'm like, hey, dude, you owe us now because everybody left, and you promised us a good spot, and we were helping you out.
I remember that, actually. I remember talking to you about that.
Yeah. And from that point on, I was able to open up for whatever band played
that's awesome.
at Crazy Donkey.
And if you want to hear the rest of the story, hang on, because we got a commercial break right now.
You love your weekly dose of bacon as my podcast, but you need even more bacon. Well, just go over to baconismypodcast.com. You can engage even more with us over there. It's a pathway to our music, extra content, our social media pages. Most importantly, grab yourself some pretty sweet swag and put it all over your body parts. Again, that's baconismypodcast.com. Listen to some tunes, pick up some merch, and tell us, what's your bacon?
And we're back.
I'm back.
We're back and we're full. That's how you can tell that we're back. Our glasses are full, and that's how you can tell, if you're watching on Strangerhood TV, that time has passed.
It's actually digital magic. Mikey has a new plugin that actually fills your...
If you are listening, that's what a full glass sounds like.
Yes.
For all you ASMRs.
My finger.
So
what we were talking about.
We were talking about covers.
The
greatest cover story
ever.
That included me, and I enjoy this. No, it's that sounds.
It's also the greatest cover story ever that doesn't include.
That sounds very ego-y for me to say, but it's because I really think it's funny. The story, just because.
Right. The story is great.
Funny.
The story is great because there was so much going into it.
Right.
Because I remember during the break that our second cover at the second level, we did 9 Inch Nails' Wish. And that is something that we had done.
Killed it, by the way.
Right. It's something that we had done for a while.
You guys killed it.
I used to play that song at Six Flags Great Adventure all the time. And the lovely woman that ran that show, Patricia Stevens, had one rule, like you really could not curse at all. And that song is
chock full,
fairly curse laden,
chock full of F's.
And I was so good at pulling away from the mic, but I would watch her and she'd be every time, and I was like, no,
which is great because you can look at her and go, you know this,
you know bad words,
you know these words.
But so we had done that, but what was happening, and then we got past the judges on that one.
Right.
We actually on that one. For that round, we got past the judge, and then we were in the finals, and you guys were in the finals as well. Mm-hmm. And then the pressure really ramped up because it was starting to become obvious that the cover was paramount to the judges.
Was the thing that was going to get
we were there was no band, in my opinion, there was no band in the finals that wasn't good.
Yeah. I agree. 100%.
I mean, like everybody had the chops to do it, and it was really like what you were going to do with the cover. And what makes it such a great story for me is that it was, weeks away. So It was somewhat urgent, but there could be some planning involved.
So every band, I guarantee, was going, what can we do that's going to set us apart that's not your typical cover?
Right. What is going to be absolutely amazing?
What left can we throw?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So in that interim between round 2 and round 3, Matt Dower and I were on a train. We were going into the city. We were going to do an interview show we were going to the car show, and we were going to be the host of like an interview show.
Right.
So we're going to the train, and Matt's like, what do you think about doing Rolling in the Deep from Adele?
Mm-hmm.
Huge song at the time, like huge song.
Yes.
Also Adele.
Right.
I mean, like Adele, one of the
left
greatest
field can you get
left field, but like one of the greatest singers.
And amazing.
And I don't know if you know this, not one of the greatest singers of our time. And I was like, I really like that song. And so what I had to do is I learned the song about 7 times because I kept changing the key because it's a multi-octave sing, right?
It's a hard song to sing.
It's a hard song to sing. And what I did is I found one key that I could sing the very lowest, like that, and then to where it went to the very top of my range. I found the one key that I could do that in, and I wrote a rock version of the song. and in my opinion, was one of the greatest covers I have ever put together.
I agree.
Like ever.
I
like
agree.
ever. And we did it for years after that. And people would request it. And like we were going to record that too. But we were so psyched.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were going, and it was top fucking secret. Like anybody that mentioned it, and like Dower's a talker. Yeah. So like I was like, you fucking tell anybody.
We
like
did the same thing with ours.
Right. Well, that was the greatest part because I was at the same time trying to find out what fucking song you guys were doing, and nobody was talking. Nobody was talking. All I knew is that you weren't talking. Nobody was talking.
Well, you didn't know me.
All I knew, but you still weren't talking. All I knew is that it happened in a diner, and that was all I knew. Like somebody had found it on a diner jukebox. I'm like, cool. So they're either doing Help or Johnny Cash or like, and I'm going to like diners just like looking for songs, see what the hell the Ronettes are. They really covering the Ronettes? So we nailed this thing, and I remember we played before you.
Yep.
And we nailed it. Like the audience.
I'll tell you right now, we were in the audience when you guys played that, and Jimmy and I looked at each other like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, you should have been. Like we nailed
and we were
that.
like, "This is really good."
But
holy shit!
Like I've never I never walked off stage like cocky or anything, but I knew we nailed that.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, okay, we've done what we came here to do.
Right.
And now it's up to Fate. And I didn't realize that Fate's middle name was Craving Fucking Strange because those bitches fucking went up like two bands after us. So Matt and I are standing at the side of Ollie's Point, which is Revolution. We're just standing there like, and it wasn't even like we had this because it wasn't that because we were still dealing with This Good Robot, which we knew were going to take the whole goddamn thing.
Absolutely.
Because it wasn't even really like, were we even there?
We were all fighting
for second place by like a lot.
Yeah.
Like, and so you guys went up and you played like your killer set, and then you're like, you intro the song, you're like, you know, blah, 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 whatever you're going to say. Like, I didn't even really give a shit. I was just like, just play the fucking song, bro. And like, it's just like, dun, 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 dun. I just look at Matt. I'm like, motherfucker. And the audience just exploded. And I'm like, let's get the fuck out of here. It was the most defeated and yet the most, the fuck didn't I think of that moment in my entire life? And honestly,
that was definitely on the jukebox at the diner.
It was absolutely
it was.
Right after the Ronettes, somewhere the P-Funk, like just all that other shit. And you guys destroyed it. You did it so well. And like, as much as Abate has been a dick to me, like in recent years, like he nailed it. He nailed that part.
100%.
And it would not have worked if he hadn't done that. And like everything else that you did, like, I mean, like you guys sold that song, and that audience was like, I mean, it was like a collective, like, no fucking way. Like, and everybody knew the words automatically, somehow, magically. Right. And like everybody, son of a bitch, I'm best. I was like, and you fucking twanged it. Like, I don't know where Indiana like meets country, but all of a sudden you had like, you were from Knoxville. Right. Like I was just waiting to see the hayseed in your fucking mouth. I was like it could not have gone better. And I was just like, fuck this guy. Fuck these guys. Fuck Charlie Daniels. Fuck the devil. Fuck Johnny.
So for those of you listening, we did Devil Went Down to Georgia.
They nailed.
Look it up on YouTube.
Yeah,
it's on Strangerhood, right?
Yeah, there's a couple videos of us doing it.
Okay,
there's a video of us doing it terribly and way too fast in Texas.
There's not video of me being like, motherfucker. Wish I had done that. Well, like there you go.
There's your video.
Right.
There's your reaction video.
I just remember you talking to me afterwards, and you telling me that afterwards. Because I was honestly nervous to do that song. I didn't when
I've never heard a better cover.
Thank you. When that song was brought up to me at the diner, my first inclination was to be like, "No way, no way."
Yeah, and you should have done that
because then
I would have won the break contest.
Because I was like, "How am I going to sing it?
Yeah,
this is a ridiculous song. How am I going to sing it?" And then I was like, all right, let's learn it musically and figure out what we're going to do musically.
Right.
And we were like, all right, let's drop D. Let's do this. Let's put Ghostbusters in the middle. Let's do all this kind of weird shit with it. But the whole time I was like, how am I going to sing this? Like, I'm how am I gonna?
Yeah, it's not a very sung song, right?
Right.
It's
No.
more
And
I guess
so
it's country
it was,
rap. Like,
so
what
it was
would that
like,
be?
how do I?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a little
It's
urban.
southern.
It's more speaking. It's,
Yeah, like some
because it's a
Nashville
story.
Tupac.
It's a storytelling
Twanging-
thing, and I was
twanging rap.
really nervous.
Right.
I
It's
was
a
really
story.
nervous to do
Yeah.
that because the only thing I knew how to do was like, well, people like it when I sing high, so I just sing. High. And
my
so
shows.
I was really kind of like nervous at that point. I still wasn't super comfortable with like just doing whatever,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, no, you definitely steeped in the professional for sure. Like,
And so
metered what you were going to do.
when we started doing it in rehearsals, I as a joke just did it with like everyone down to joke. I gave each character a different voice.
Yeah.
And then after we finished it, I was like, "Hey guys, do any of you have a problem if I do it like that? And like I make it that? Is that okay with everybody?"
So
And they were like, "Yeah, that's fucking cool." And I was like, "Okay." But had I not kind of done that and embraced that and everything, I wouldn't have gone on to be as ridiculous and stupid on stage as I am now. It's like fucking dumb.
Which is good.
Shit that I do.
It's a huge
But
get
it's-
for you.
But it absolutely
Career-wise.
is. It absolutely is.
Professionally.
That got us being comfortable and being, like I was saying with you earlier about letting people in and all that kind of stuff, being real and being yourself has gotten us further than writing a good song ever has.
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
And I didn't grasp that at that time. And so being able to do that like that opened that up for me. And it was funny for me when you told me the story because I was so nervous about doing that song.
Dude,
and I didn't think it was, I didn't know if it was going to go over. That was the most nervous I had been about any cover that we were ever going to do.
Yeah.
Because
it was way out of your wheelhouse, for sure.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
And I thought we did it really well, and I really liked how it went. But I was like, I don't know if everybody's going to like what I like, because generally they don't.
Yeah. No, everybody liked it.
And
like, everybody liked it so much that you didn't like it.
They liked it too much. They liked it
They
too much to
overliked
where
it.
they made me not like it.
Right, exactly. They liked it way too much for you to like it.
That happens.
They took all the fun out of it from me.
I hate to interject, but I think we need to pay some bills. So if you've watched an episode or two,
I've watched more than 2 episodes.
Yeah.
you would know
Probably
that we are sponsored by a
I
company
love that
called
you're sponsored
Poddex.
by Poddex. Actually, I like that. I like the whole concept.
It's great.
I think it's funny because you guys actually are very good at what you do, interviewing wise. Like you definitely do research, for sure. Like as a group, like you have questions to ask people, and then you do something that most other people don't, which is listen to the answer. And then there's always a question. Like I like that, and you're like,
Yeah, that's
you're
nice.
falling through April. Thank you.
I'm just kidding.
Right. But how do you feel about me? Right. Exactly. Like the falling through April interview, like you asked like one question and it like led to like, I know you didn't have like these other 7 questions ready. Like it was good to watch because it was like a lot of really good broadcasters do that, but most broadcasters don't because they have a list and they have a time frame, and you guys are like time's irrelevant. Like I'll just edit it out and post. But like you ask questions, and I like that. And I find it interesting that you have this because you don't need it. But whenever you do ask a Poddex question, it's always like it starts another conversation that could easily go on
Oh yeah,
for another hour.
another episode.
Why are there different colors? Can you explain that?
Oh,
to me?
So there's
I'll
different-
happily
It's
explain it.
literally a question I have. I'll pull it out of my own pod deck.
Here.
Why is pod deck different colors?
Because they are different decks with different
Oh, I
subjects
got that
and
part.
different topics.
Okay.
different
Right?
subjects.
So Poddex is a company that makes a card deck that will give you questions, interview topics, just interesting conversation starters.
Yeah, I was going to say conversations are, which is great for interviews, especially.
So anybody that's starting a podcast or anybody that's doing their first couple of interviews or even just trying to come up with like what to
Jesus
make
Christ,
an episode
there's so many
about.
questions.
Yeah, there's probably 52 in each deck, I'm guessing.
Well, that's an episode 1.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to pick.
So,
1. No, I'm not picking. I'm counting.
well,
Go ahead. 2, 3, 4, 5.
so what you can do is,
6,
if you get a pod deck,
7.
what you can do is you can pick those things if you don't have that verbal diarrhea
lost
that
track.
we all have,
1,
and you're not able to stay focused like some of us are, and some of us are not.
4, 5.
So, what you can do is go to poddex.com. You can check out all their cool stuff.
16, 17.
And if you decide that you want to get something from Poddex, there is a section for a promo code. You know how there is on every site. You go on there and you put in the promo code
52 cards.
BACON! Because
bacon makes everything better.
Yeah, and it'll get 10% off your entire order. So the best thing you can do is maybe get a couple of decks. Because the more you buy, the more you save. You know how it works. So what we're going to do is we're going to let DJ decide which deck he's going to get a question from. And we have the episode deck, which is in his hands right now. We have in the black. Right now. We have interview deck.
Oh,
we have interview deck 2 in the blue. We have what the heck in green, and we have would you rather in red.
So while you were counting, did you listen to why they're different colors?
Not at all.
So DJ, if you were, let's just say hypothetically, if you were to pick from the interview deck, 2nd edition, what the heck, or would you rather deck, which one would you pick from?
Okay, well, I definitely don't want to do Would You Rather. And here's where I'm torn. So I'm considering these two. But in true musician form, a.k.a. asshole form, I'm thinking of those bands that put out that amazing first record, like Appetite for Destruction.
Okay.
Or the band that really gets its shit together and puts out an amazing second
The sophomore effort is...
what we've learned.
Tough. Well, I gotta be honest with you.
Gonna hit it out
this is the least picked deck.
Yeah.
Oh, then fucking here we go.
There we go.
There we go, folks.
I believe in the Bad News Bears. Have I mentioned my Hurricanes?
I do too.
So I just shuffled for a really long time.
I'm sorry, my stories are too long.
The reason why
they're just long enough
is because Jimmy lived in Vegas, or as he would say, Vegas, and can't shuffle. Do you want to watch him shuffle?
You lived in Vegas?
I did.
I did not know
for a year.
Oh, you want to watch it? You need to watch him shuffle. It's so cute.
I can't shuffle. It's not good.
But
it's cute.
But I don't understand.
It's kind of cute.
I love when I find out stuff about you that I didn't know.
Say when to stop. I'm running my fingers over the cards right now for those who can't see things.
Ooh.
And we are picking.
Spoke to me.
Not a bad question for you, actually. DJ Pearlman.
Yes, sir.
What things do you do every day that you wish could be automated?
Breathing.
Well, that
Waking
can happen.
up.
You could do that.
There's an iron lung for that.
I'm definitely getting fat enough that might be in the cards, not the pod deck cards.
We just saw an iron lung. We did a watch along of the movie The Big Lebowski.
I saw that.
Patreon. And there's a scene with an iron lung.
It's funny. I was actually considering watching along and joining the Patreon just to do that because I watched this might be somewhat controversial, but I watched The Big Lebowski years ago and did not like it at all.
Yep. Very controversial.
Very controversial.
Right. But I have a standing. I need to rewatch that now that I'm a little older. And I just haven't done it yet.
You do.
Right. Because I feel like I'm going to get it more.
Watch it now while it's on Netflix for free.
It was so highly recommended. Like when something like is so highly recommended to you, like, cool, I'm going to watch this. I would love to see like Star Wars times 3.
Dude, it's in my top 5.
Yeah.
Yes.
Movies.
See, that's what I mean. Like, I got to rewatch it, but I feel like.
But so is Anchorman. So I don't know.
But Anchorman is one of the greatest movies of all time.
See, so I don't understand why.
It could have been. It could have been at a bad time.
Could have been the time or mindset.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, but that's a big hurdle to overcome because like I watched the movie and I just did not dig it, and I have favorite movies. Like I really and they are not what a lot of other people consider. Although you guys probably do. But like I love like True Romance is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Dude,
that's his number one.
That's my number one movie of all time.
It's the greatest because it's like.
How did I not know this?
But there's so many things.
Just shut up for a second. You didn't need to take this in.
We need a commercial.
No one brings up this movie.
Know this.
Oh, really?
No one brings up this movie.
Aside from the fact that literally everyone is in it.
Dude, it is so good.
It is such a great movie.
We talked about it when we were doing The Big Lebowski. I was like, we should do another watch along. You pick your favorite movie, and I'll watch it. And we'll have
he put me on the spot,
and I'll pick my favorite movie. And he couldn't think of his favorite movie, and I was like,
still can't think of it.
True Romance. And not because I think it's the best movie ever made,
right?
But because of just. Man, like every time I see it, it hits me the same way.
I don't know that it's my favorite movie, but it's like easily floating around my top 5.
Dude.
And it's even just the scene and I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but the scene with Patricia Arquette and Tony Soprano.
Did you put it under the bed?
But also, I think my favorite scene from the entire movie has got to be with Dennis Hopper and Christopher Walken.
Yes!
I mean, that whole dialogue is great, but
so good.
When he's like,
so your ancestors.
Well, yeah, well, there's that, but the lead up to it is how they found him, because your son,
right,
fuckhead that he is, left his driver's license in the dead guy's hand. It's just. And when just that moment
Gary
with Dennis,
Oldman.
well, right, but the moment that Gary Oldman's also in it,
right?
But the moment that Dennis Hopper like realizes like I'm not getting out of this, and he's just like,
yes,
can I get one of them Chesterfields? Like it is such a good movie.
It's so
and there
good.
is so much good stuff. So and even like the Elvis thing, the Val Kilmer,
like, oh my god,
what we need to do is this.
I like it, Clarence. Always well.
Always well. It's so great.
What we need to do.
Oh my god.
Watch along.
We'll do a watch along with DJ.
I'm just blown away that you picked True Romance, because
it
literally
is one of the greatest movies of all time.
It is, but it's somewhat of a lesser known movie.
It's buried for some reason under Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs.
Well,
I don't know why.
It's a Tarantino, but it's kind of not.
But it's not. It's not a Tarantino. It's a good. It's basically what it is. Is a good movie that Tarantino did, and that's not taking away anything from like Pulp Fiction, which is like by the time you watch it the third time, it's like, oh my god.
But it didn't do as
well. And Reservoir Dogs is a great movie.
That is that's one of my top.
Alabama Whirly, her brother's in Reservoir Dogs, because he mentions his sister Alabama.
I did not know
that.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
But True Romance for me is just like one of the greatest, like one of the first greatest movies I've ever seen. Like it had everything, and like it was part. Like even the scenes with like the coke at the end, like when he's like, "Put this in your bra," like I'm not putting that in my bra. It's like all over his.
You want me to?
She's just laughing.
Suck his dick. Yeah. Oh, who the fuck is Dick?
Right, and Michael Rappaport's in the movie. Like
fucking great.
I would have known you were coming.
Playing basketball.
Right, but Floyd smoked the second half of the letter. Right. Like, dude, Brad Pitt is a fucking barely character in that movie. Right. And when they walk in, it's to outshine. Like, how the fuck can you?
It's
and he's like, oh, where is he?
Pick up some cleaning products. He's smoking out of a honey bear.
It's dude, the fact that there's so many incredible actors that are like walk-ons in that fucking movie.
Well, that movie to me has so many really amazing moments in it.
Yeah.
That's why it grabbed me so much, because the story in general is just really good and really fucked up and really weird.
Right.
But it's like your hero is not a hero, and and it's the first movie I ever saw that was kind of like that.
It's such a good movie.
Like you were drawn into the flaws of all of these characters.
It's a lot of why Kevin Smith stuff worked in the 90s.
Yes.
And once he got out of the 90s, because it's all view askew, and then you hit 2001, and it's like, this is just another like regular comedy.
Right. Well, I was
with your character.
I was gonna say about Kevin Smith. I have this one special thing with Clerks, because I always liked the movie, and I had played a show at McCoy's when it was still the Dugout, and my drummer and I at the time we played our show, and it was great. So it might have, I guess maybe it was Sufferful, and we had done some blow at 4 a.m, like idiots.
Best time to do it,
or worse. So we did it, and then we went to our studio, which was in Deer Park, which was right around the corner. And in the studio, we had a refrigerator, and I used to keep like Van Gogh double espresso vodka in the freezer.
Ooh, that stuff is great.
It is.
That's a straight shooter.
I have another story about that. But so I drank that, and we had a couple shots of that each, and then we both looked at each other. It was like 5 a.m. We're like, I guess we just leave now. And he left. So I was like, all right, cool. So I went home, and I turned on IFC, the Independent Film Channel, and Clerks was just starting. And I'm like, it's fucking awesome. I'm wired, exhausted, and drunk.
Best night ever.
Right, this is great. So I'm watching it, but it's IFC, and that's important because I watched the movie. I'm like, this is fucking great. So the movie ends. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. And then right after it is the director's cut. Which
You watched it again.
I watched it
Very
again.
different, though. Very
And
different.
very
It gets better.
Especially at the end.
It gets right. So they play the alternate ending.
Yeah.
Where Dante actually gets.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not writing for
No spoilers.
Yes.
So I watch all that and I'm like, oh, fucking nice. That's awesome. Right after that is the director's cut, director's commentary.
Oh shit.
So they don't even have the audio for the movie on.
Wow.
It's just Kevin Smith and whoever's interviewing.
Oh my
talking.
God.
So now
So now you watched 3 in a row.
I have watched Clerk 3 times. I know everything about it.
It's a good thing that you were awake.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to do it
Right.
without
No
our
way.
beloved cocaine.
No
there was
way.
just
Yeah.
no way. But it's for me, aside from Clerks being a great movie, that has always endeared itself to me. I'm like, where else? Like,
That's
how
amazing.
could I watch this movie again, but differently? Like, oh
Right.
shit, I'm going to talk all the way through this movie.
I
Okay,
do have
Kev.
to say, if you ever get a chance to watch an evening with Kevin Smith or an evening
Awesome.
with Kevin Smith 2,
Yep.
amazing.
Excellent.
I own them both on DVD.
I'll have to watch.
I watch them. They're like 3 discs.
Yeah.
Like it's like this conversation.
Like,
Yeah.
It's a
Probably
lot
why I
like
like
this
them so much.
conversation.
We are a 3-disc episode.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, it's fucking amazing, off the wall, amazing. So
Just like
good.
his take on things, like, because he's like really.
he went to colleges and he just put 2 mics in the middle of the auditoriums, and they were like, "Go ahead and line up and just ask Kevin Smith stuff."
See, that sounds like so much fun.
Doesn't it?
On both sides. Like,
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got so many great
like
stories.
I
and stuff.
see bands do that, like ask me anything, like, and I want to do that, but I don't want to just get the one question because I'll feel that.
Right.
Like, and like, I mean, there's definitely people we know that will ask me questions, and like, I don't, like, that's okay, but like, I want to like ask like real, like, I like this,
Yeah.
like, I don't even know what question got us all the way to Kevin Smith,
Who knows?
and nobody does, right? Like, but like, we could rewind the tape and figure it out. Like, I like that shit, but like, I would give anything to just like
So good.
to have
So
that
good.
like an auditorium full of people be like, ask.
Yeah.
And you know me, like, I'll be like, here's your answer.
Yep.
So guys, what we're saying is let us know because
It could
we would
be
love
anything.
we would love to
BMA.
do something
Yeah.
like that. We would love to do like a sit down. Maybe we'll do it for Patreon. But what I'd like to do right now is we're going to go ahead and we're going to end the regular episode.
Wait, did I answer the pod deck question?
You did.
You did.
Okay.
Sort of. We're going to end the regular episode.
I like them that they sponsor you, so I want to make
And
sure
we're going to keep going.
you should get pod deck.
And there's going to be more episode on our Patreon. So if you're one of our patrons,
No.
jump on there.
It's not going to be more episode. We got another episode.
Am I in the future?
You are
in the future.
in the future. The future.
So all of you that have watched this episode, thank you so much for watching the episode.
But also,
Barkbox. I
Thanks-
love that you do
thanks.
Barkbox.
thank
that's
you
great. Thank you for being on.
to our buddy DJ,
Yeah.
who's going to hang out with us for
I am.
the rest of the night. We are going to,
Patreon.
we'll put links to
We're
all of his
Patreon
stuff
But
in the description. But where can they find
we're
you
gonna
once
find
again?
you and your band and your
Every Thursday,
radio
what
show.
goes on?
Every Thursday you can find me, first of all, if we're going to do this chronologically,
Yeah.
every Thursday morning
Yes.
at midnight,
Mhm.
despite how ridiculous that sounds. At midnight
Yes.
01, you can find the top 20. That is the first 20 minutes of every Hard Rock Lunchbox, and that is me, the video presentation of me doing that. And I work minimally hard on that, so that's cool. But then Thursday is at noon.
You can
I
find
do
that
the-
on StrangerhoodTV.com.
You can. Stranger at TV might be right here. Like, see, like,
If you're watching
Click.
this video, it's right here, and we'll put a click. We'll put a link. It's probably on this side or up here or down here.
there.
Yeah, down there, right down by my knots,
There.
my
Thank you.
Nazi bits.
Right there. Thank you. And then you can just listen 99 WNRR or go to the
Thursday.
Hard Rock Lunchbox on Thursdays at noon, and that's the Hard Rock Lunchbox, and be part of the conversation because it's funny and fun. But if you want to hear anything Revel 9, you can go to revel9.com or anywhere music is sold, Spotify and Apple and Napster and all kinds of things.
Napster's still a thing.
Yeah,
Napster
no
is
matter
still a
what
thing.
time. No matter what
Amazon-
time, no matter what day.
You can go check out Revel 9. And actually, I would really appreciate it if you guys check out Revel 9 and let me know like what songs you kind of like because I find that stuff fascinating.
Check out Revel 9. Check out DJ. Check out everything that he's doing because he's good at it. Because he's good at all those things.
And podcast.
Jimsy,
Yes, sir.
where can they find you?
You can find me On the Instagrams, Jimmy G Shoes. You can find me on Twitter at Jimmy G Shoes. You can find me on Facebook. But the important the important place to find me is one right here at on Strangerhood TV on Bacon Is My Podcast. You can find us at baconismypodcast.com, where you can get some sweet swag and find out about everything that we're doing,
like
including
this.
our music.
Don't Ax
Bacon
Me.
Is My Passion. Our Don't Ax Me shirt, which is part of our Grammar Is My Passion series.
Grammar is my passion.
Grammar Is My Passion.
Live
Yeah.
stuff. This is
That's right. And you can find my band Craving Strange on cravingstrange.net. And from cravingstrange.net, you can find links to all of our socials and everything that we're doing. Mike, where can they find you?
I am at me, my own self, Mike, on all of the socials. And then my band is at Something Heavy Music on all the socials. SomethingHeavyMusic.com.
Thank you guys for hanging out. We appreciate you. We're going to keep giving him shit about it. If you're on Patreon, jump on. You'll hear more of this. You'll see the tasting. You'll hear all that stuff. But
you should always ask yourself one single question. DJ, what is that question?
What's the question?
What's your bacon?